Lottie's often convinced she's found the solution to a problem despite tons of evidence to the contrary, and her Super Earth run this weekend was such a great example of this. Lottie started out running into the tunnel ahead of her, that's very normal, but it all went wrong when she came out and remembered that it was the tunnel on the right that led her to the rat yesterday. When that tunnel was a dead end, she thought about going in the first tunnel, but then decided no, that has to be right. The tunnel betrayed her again, it was still a dead end, so she came out, shook off, and then ran right back in. Unfortunately, that tunnel was still a dead end. At this point, Lottie started to get really confused. Her tunnel was just not working, even though it worked yesterday. And I was telling her not to climb over the hay bales, which also seemed like a good route to the rat. At this point, we were running out of time, so I stepped into the ring because the judge told me I could and tried to convince Lottie to go into the correct tunnel. Lottie clearly does not think that I am very reliable, and so she ignored me and went back to her tunnel and tried one more time to see if maybe this time it would work. But of course, it didn't work, and with maybe 15 seconds left to spare, I finally convinced Lottie to go in the right entrance. The first tunnel finally brought her all the way to her rat. Lottie was so happy to get here. And you know, I was a little bit impressed that she kept trying and didn't give up. Now for comparison, here's what her friend Charlie did. He tried the tunnel, that was the right answer the day before. And when that didn't work, he thought about going over the edge and then used his little nose to figure out it was the first tunnel that was right. I will say this for Lottie though, she was really good about being taken out of the tunnels this weekend. And I cannot say the same thing about Charlie. He tried his absolute best to stay with the rat.